And allegedly, here we are for the Wednesday edition of the LOA Scope. And I'm your host, Bob freaking Doyle. That's right. Hi, Melanie. Nice to have you here. Wow, I look goofy like crazy with those glasses. What is happening to my eyes? I look like an insect. Hi, Conscious Bro. Nice to have you here. I think I'll go back to the little readers. Thanks for sharing. Wow, I hadn't even started. ESL teaching in Paris. See, for some reason, this seems less silly to me than those other glasses. I don't know why. Again, these are my thin optics. BobDoyleLikesThis.com/glasses if you'd like your very own pair. Hi, Melanie Bundock. Two Melanies in a row. Juliet Nelson has joined us again. Thanks for being here. Just kind of welcoming everyone into the room today. Melanie! Exclamation point, smiley face. Hold on, I have to remember. Oh, I don't have a name for teaching in Paris. Well, hi, teaching in Paris. I'm really trying to learn to greet people by their names. Courtney, there's a cute spelling of Courtney. Let's find out a little bit about Courtney. Well, her name is Courtney Armstrong, and that's all we know, except that apparently she has a white dog. Welcome. Sarah. Hi, Sarah, sorry. Okay. So, happy Wednesday, Pooh. Anybody know what that's from? Anyone? Okay. So, hi, thanks for the hearts, too. So, it is cold here, Marina Del Rey. Known for our perfect weather all year round. It is very nice. It's very sunny and stuff, but it's very, you're welcome. Lisa Kent, EFT. We have an EFT practitioner in the house. What is up today? Well, I'm about to tell you, Rhonda. Love from Boise, love right back at you from Marina Del Rey. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Oh, I don't have pink. Lisa Nichols, UK, hi. All right. Magic Me, I don't recognize Magic Me. Let's take a look at Magic Me. Natalie Walker, student of yoga, lover of woo-woo, in awe of the moon. Welcome, Natalie. It's nice to have you here. Alrighty. So, for those of you who may be new, my name is Bob Doyle. I am best known for teaching the law of attraction the past, well, since 2002, and for my part in the book and movie called The Secret, which is all about the law of attraction and creating your life by design. So that's been the bulk of my work for the past, decade or so. And so what I love to do here is a few times a week, hi, Brooke, nice to have you here, is check in on Periscope, and we talk about some law of attraction related topics. And sometimes, best known for blabbing with Mel. Oh yeah, I know who you are, Lisa. Go to kitchens. All these new ones. I think it's because people are inviting. Love to cook. I also love to cook. Leslie Nance, weekdays at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. GoToKitchens.com. Don't forget, guys, check your fellow scopers out. Follow them and expand your hi, Lola Talk. Nice to have you here. Okay, so just one quick thing, one quick announcement, and then we'll get right into the topic at hand. I was going to talk about something completely different today. Last week I talked a little, or last time I mentioned the Quantum Blueprint, yourquantumblueprint.com, a webinar, and I was going to touch on that again today, but I'm not, because there's something else happening tomorrow that's happening first, and it's more time sensitive. And I know a lot of you know you attracted a boyfriend. All right, excellent. A lot of you know who Carl Harvey is from The Big Life. Some of you don't, but he does a series of different shows here and there. He's a very plugged in guy, very conscious, and an excellent interviewer. And he has an amazing set of offerings of his own in terms of visualization and all sorts of things, meditations and things. Just really an amazing guy. If you know Carl, you know what I'm talking about. And from time to time, he and I will do interviews. I've appeared on his Big Life program a couple of times. But tomorrow we're doing something that is not the Big Life, but it is another conversation about the law of attraction. And the great thing about Carl is he always digs super deep. And also what I love about Carl is, when he addresses, whenever he talks about any of my programs or the education I provide, he's speaking from experience. where he's gone through the program in depth and knows exactly what he's talking about. And in the case of my program, Wealth Beyond Reason, that's a lot. That's a big commitment because there's a ton of information in there. And he's gone through every bit of it. And so his questions are super, super relevant and poignant and are really designed to give you, the viewer or listener, actionable steps to take. Like he's really, really into delivering value on these conversations. And we're having another one tomorrow. And so I just wanted to let you know how to be a part of that if you want to. It's free. And you can go to bobdoylelikesthis.com/Carl with a C. bobdoylelikesthis.com/Carl to reserve your spot in that webinar for tomorrow. And that is, what time? I think 7 p.m. I can't remember. Go to the page and you'll find out. My guess is if you can't do it live, there's probably a replay, but I don't know that. bobdoylelikesthis.com/Carl. Thank you, Lisa Nichols. If that doesn't work because of the capital C, just make it a lowercase c and Carl and see if that works. I don't know if it's case sensitive or not, but in any event, so that's that. Would love to have you join us for that because we always have a ton of fun. We laugh a lot. And every time I do something with him, it seems like lighting. Emotions are an incredible gift that we have to let us know what we are thinking. That sounds like Bob Doyle from The Secret, no less. That's one of those quotes from The Secret where I think it was kind of taken a little bit out of context or whatever. It's really funny for me to watch The Secret, which I haven't watched it in a long time. And I'm sorry that my hat doesn't match my shirt on any level. My Life is Good hat. It's the one hat that we have that actually fits my big, huge, brain-filled head. And I have bedhead like crazy this morning, so I decided, because I woke up doing voiceover work and all of that. Anyway, pardon me, still like it. Oh yeah, I mean, look, I'm not devaluing the quote. It's just always funny to watch where they put certain things I said and go, I was talking about something else then. Anyway, hat not matching shirt scope. That's right, a whole series. Maybe that should be my thing, is that whenever I do a scope, I completely not going to mention the mismatch. Well, good. I did it anyway. I did it. I preempted the mismatch mentioning strike. And I also brushed my teeth before this scope because it seems like the past two scopes I've done, there's always been something lodged on my tooth. See, it looks like there is right there, but that's just light. It's not stuff. Okay? So the only thing I got going against me right now is a little bit of bedhead and a mismatching hat and shirt combination. Other than that, boom, I'm here and I'm ready to play. So here we go. Who or what are you blaming? This is the question. You know, I always like to give you something to think about and observe in yourself as you go through your week, because it is through the observing of our normal behavior that, and combined with a good understanding of how the law of attraction really works, observing our behavior will tell us very clearly why we are or are not attracting the thing that we want. And we talk about lots of different things here on these scopes of things to observe and go, wow, I'm doing that. Now I can see why I'm not. I did floss. I can prove it if you want, but I don't think you want the proof. All right. So who do we blame? Let's talk about who's and what's. I mean, because it's both. So we can go through our life. We can understand the law of attraction and whatever. We can be creating our visions. And then when things don't happen, I wonder how often, like, who do we blame or what do we blame for throwing off our great vibration, right? Like we've got our vision going and we're moving along our day and we're feeling it and we're, like awesome. And then something happens. Somebody does something, something occurs. Somebody says something, does something, an event happens, and it throws you off. It changes your mood. It makes you angry or sad or whatever. And you then in your mind point to that thing for the cause of the disruption of your good vibration or that person. Let's talk about people for right now. Because look, I know that we all have people, no dinner to rush off a cook tonight. Okay, great, awesome. Nice to have you here as always. But how easy it is to point at something outside of ourselves as the cause for. Sorry, I thought Cody the dog was coming to join me. As the cause for our derailment. How many of you can relate to that? like pointing at, we'll just stick with people right now and then we'll go to circumstances. Certain people in your life that you go, that's the reason I'm not feeling good right now. If they would just stop doing that, if they would just stop being, period. You ever get that one? I got that one before. Seriously. Heart blast for Bob, that'd be awesome. Let's bring it up over 300,000 or get to 1 million. Are we ever victims? Sometimes. That's totally your decision. Everybody, anybody, the dog. So it's easy to point out at other people. So why do you think we do that? I mean, here's the thing. If you really think about it, our emotions, how we react to anything, is a choice. It's a learned choice. And we've had all these great reasons for responding the way we do to certain things that happen from the outside in, but it's so automatic, and the wires connect so quickly that it's easy to go, well, clearly you did this. What you said, the email you wrote, the look on your face, whatever it is, has created this response. It's your fault. If you wouldn't do that, then I wouldn't have to respond this way. And yeah, it's easier to blame others than looking at yourself, but we are all one, aren't we? Everything in our life is a reflection of what's going on within us. It's interesting, that point about, we put it off on other people. I've been talking recently about sort of this process that I've been going through. And one of the things that's my stuff is often around being harsh on myself for creative self-expression. Let's talk about, for example, playing music, okay? And I have this idea that people would be saying, yes, we have to take responsibility, and that's where we're going with this. This whole idea is if I go out and play the ukulele and sing, people are going to say, oh, he thinks he's so great, or who is he to be doing that, or he's not that good, he thinks he's good and he's not that good, right? Well, what got me about that one is, okay, well, hold on, Juliet, that's a whole different question. And I talk about that at length on other things, but let's stay focused on this for the moment. Those people that I'm having that conversation with, they don't even exist. These are imaginary people that I made up who are going to be saying, who is he to do that? Oh, he thinks he's so great. No one's saying that to me. And yet, that's how I filter it. Like, I don't even own that that's my own stuff. You know what I mean? It's like I have to filter that through somebody else, these imaginary people. So I don't say that about myself. It's those people that I'm sure are going to say it, but those people don't exist. All right. So anyway, that's just sort of an aside. But we do want to put it off on other people so that we don't take responsibility for our response. Especially, I think we do that when we're trying to be so conscious. We don't want to be a person who's in reaction. We don't want to be a person who's judging. We don't want to be a person who has ill feelings towards somebody else or whatever. And so when that stuff comes up, we really don't want to take responsibility for having those feelings, because that's not who we want to be. We want to be loving and connected and joyful and all of those things. And when we have feelings that are contrary to that, well, we can't own that it's us. It's got to be them. They're the ones who did it, right? I mean, it's clearly what they did or said. And hard sometimes. How about hard most of the time? Yeah. Yeah, it's really because, I mean, it's different. There are some people who really like to beat themselves up, and then there's those people who need intermediaries. There's somebody who might be told something and just go, yeah, you're right. So clearly I'm speaking from personal experience. And I have person in my life who will set me off almost every single time. It's so easy to go, man, if they just wouldn't do that, use that language, talk that way to me, if they just wouldn't, or if they would just leave me alone or just go away, if that would then I could just go through my day and be fine, right? But, so I'm blaming that person for being relentless or whatever. Now, there's a couple of things going on there. First of all, vibrationally, I'm putting all my attention on my disdain for the way that this transaction is going and how this person is being. I'm really fully in it. I'm in vibrational alignment with the upset, so why wouldn't it just keep happening? Am I right? Law of attraction. So my continued commitment to being upset by this person really just perpetuates it. So how do I turn that around? Well, I have to start making a conscious choice when the communication comes to not respond that way, to really take a step back and go, okay, I am in total reaction mode. And I'll share this with you. This particular trigger person corresponded with me yesterday, and they were upset with me, which is a normal, that's the pattern, about something that was completely out of my control. And I still felt upset and angry about it. Like there was no way I could have done anything more than I did. And yet something that out of my control happened. This person got upset, and yet I got upset about their upset. As if maybe I got triggered, which means that there's something about what they say that resonates within me. Otherwise there would be no upset. Is that clear? Like if somebody says something to you that throws you off your game, it is because something about what they're saying or how they're saying it or whatever it is triggers something within you that is in you. It's there inside you. And it could be from your past or whatever. Is probably not even about that person. Because if there wasn't anything in there that rang true or hit a trigger, you would not respond. You would not have that reaction. So it's about taking, yes, and tapping is great. I've been doing so much EFT this week, probably more than I've done in the past 6, 7, 8 months. And it's been great, really. A return to committed, persistent EFT until I take it down from 10 to 0. Lost connection, bummer. Yeah, I see the numbers dropped here real quick. But anyway, still look good here. Whoa, hey. Anyway, point is, we're not going to change the other person by throwing hate rays at them, or being upset or any of that stuff. Like every single time we allow ourselves to blame somebody else or something outside of our control, we give up all of our power. Well, I can't possibly feel good when this is happening. Well, that's a decision that you're making. That's a choice you're making. And the vibrational impact of that is and can be significant, depending on how angry you get or how triggered you are or how much you're pointing the blame. Because I really feel the more that you really must push the blame off of yourself or, whatever, or not take responsibility and blame somebody else, you're actually doing yourself more disservice because you are solidifying this idea that you're not responsible. It's somebody else. And if the more you do that, the more control you give up. The more that you say, you know what, I'm not in control of my destiny. I'm not in control of my emotions. I'm not in control of the way I feel. I'm not in control of my day. I'm not in control of my life. They are, because they have the power to upset me. Right? So we give away all of our power. And it doesn't feel in the moment like a choice. And it's really also very easy to justify our position. Like I could totally justify why I'm upset when I get these types of communications. I mean, anybody on the planet would understand why I'm upset. But it's still a choice I'm making to justify my upset, Yeah, so Melanie, see, that's how I judge my scopes. I go, what does Melanie Bundop need to hear today? That's what I'm going to do a scope on. Hey, what up? Hold on a second. Ray, it's been a while. Or maybe I just haven't noticed. It goes by so quick. So if you recognize the trigger, somebody was just saying it. If you can, it takes a lot of consciousness. And it takes going against everything that feels natural in terms of, because reactions happen so quickly, happen so natural, it feels like natural, like it should happen, but if it feels bad and it's consistent and it's not serving you, then you just have this choice. Message sending, but no sound or signal. Anybody else not getting sound? Anyway, but the numbers are dropping like crazy, so something clearly is going on. Not being triggered requires self-realization. Big picture, that's exactly right. And that is the work that I'm doing right now on myself, is big picture. Let's expand out of this, this world that's in our head and everything's so huge, so big, so significant. Zoom out. Off the planet, out of the universe, not out of the universe, out of the solar system, galaxy, whatever, and just see that, wow, this little energy system that's going on about, this person, blah, it's just so small. It's just so small. And we make it so big. And in the making of it big for ourselves, we are impacting our ability to enjoy our life. Allowing somebody else or some other circumstance that is more or less out of our control ruin our day, /week, /month, /year. If we continue to do that. And so it's that first part of breaking that pattern of being aware that, wow, I'm in response to something that they clearly, like a lot of people would agree that was a crappy thing to do. That was a crappy thing for them to say. Why do they have to do it that way? It's again, reasonable that you get upset, but it doesn't serve you to blame others, And what I'm suggesting is, from a law of attraction point of view, the less that we can blame others and blame circumstances, the less we will attract those triggers because we're not in alignment with them anymore. The dreading, like for example, whenever I get an email from this person, I go, oh, here it comes, right? That's the worst possible response I could possibly have, right? Because I associate all of that with this really negative vibration and pointing out and going, here comes the thing. What am I going to get mad at today, right? So I'm aware of it. But I also recognize how difficult it is to not react, because sometimes the reasons that we react, the patterns that are running, the programs that are running are very, very old and very, very settled. But if we're going to be powerful and intentional manifestors, we have to gain control over the way our mind works, and we have to be really aware of when we are giving up our control to some reaction and blaming. We won't even notice them trying to throw us out of love. That's true. So yeah, right. Now, again, way easier said than done, but things like EFT and releasing on things as they come up can be very helpful. Like what I should probably do is, if I see there's email from this person, do some tapping right then, like get myself sort of clear and realize that, they can't hurt you, I guess what I want to say is, when we go through hard times, sometimes if the times are really, really tough, the idea of taking responsibility of it for ourselves is overwhelming. Because taking responsibility is also not about blaming yourself. We also don't want you to blame you. This isn't about don't blame them, blame yourself. I'm not saying blame yourself. But taking responsibility for that you are somehow in vibrational alignment with this is the first step. And then it's really easy to see that, wow, I consistently get triggered by this. I dread this person, or I dread this situation. I think about it all the time. Then obviously you are in alignment with that situation happening. So what's going to be important for you to do is to start having visions or visualization around these people or events in a different way. Like, how would you like them to turn out? How would you like the conversations to go? And if you truly could interpret, like the crappiest thing that anyone could say or do to you, what if you had the ability to just play with interpreting it as like a compliment, as like the greatest thing they could have possibly said? Because you can do that. Your brain has the ability to interpret things however it wants. You've learned how to interpret them how they are now. You've learned to interpret that certain ways or certain things should make you feel this way. You've learned all that. There's no rule that says if somebody calls you a jerk that you have to feel bad. None. There's no rule. You choose it because you know what that word means and you've got an association with that person and you create all this meaning. You infuse it with all of the meaning that then sends you into a negative space. You see a look on somebody's face and it triggers something. It reminds you of a look on your face you saw over here, blah, blah, blah. It feels out of control, but you're making a choice. I love you too, Klein, like me. So it is not easy, I know, but it's possible. And it's going to take intention. It's going to take being intentional about making that shift. And again, Melanie brings up a good point with tapping. Tapping is a great reset button for when you're spiraling into an upset. Using EFT or something can bring down that energy and you just see through a clearer lens and say, I have a choice here. The choices I've been making clearly aren't serving me, and they aren't serving the other person. It's just a bunch of negative energy. So what would I love it to be like? You know, how would I like me to be in response to any of these external things that are happening that I've been blaming for making me feel bad? How would I love to react to that? What would that look like? What if I could get the crappiest email or somebody just did something horrible to me and I could just smile my way through it? Because, a lot of these things that people are doing, they aren't like coming up and hitting us physically. They aren't, it's not that level of stuff. It's all happening in here. Their intention may be really crappy, by the way. They may be wanting to hurt you, but it doesn't mean you have to be hurt. So I know it's just like this whole, I know, but it's not easy. I know, but it's so worth doing the work, if you will, to learn how to respond differently. Because look, you've got the whole rest of your life, right? How long are you going to let these people control it? How long are you going to let a set of circumstances or a various person control your ability to manifest the life you want? They're just this one person, or maybe they're two people, or maybe they're a group of people. It doesn't matter. You still have the ability to say, you know what, I'm taking all of this input, and I'm going to either just let it go right through me because it's irrelevant to me. It doesn't pertain to me. These people this is about them, especially if they're really saying crappy things. It's generally more of a reflection on them. Yes, I've tried surrogate tapping. And yes, for the other person, I did that years ago. I haven't done it recently, but that is a good suggestion. Thank you. For those of you who don't know what surrogate tapping is, it's doing the EFT process on behalf of someone else. There's various thoughts on whether or not you should ask their permission and things like that, because I can tell you, in my case, if I was to say, hey, I'd like to do some surrogate tapping for you so you don't annoy the crap out of me, would that be all right? I think they'd probably say, go away. Just a guess. Anyway, but yeah, it's still a good suggestion. How long going to allow people to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's your choice. You can keep blaming, keep not taking responsibility for your reactions to things, but then where are you? You're powerless. Well, I can't control it. So then what you determine is, well, I just got to get this person out of my life. I just have to get them out, 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 out. Or this situation or this circumstance. I got to get this out so that I won't be triggered anymore. So, but there's absolutely no guarantee, because a lot of times it's not about the person who's triggering you. Somebody else will step in and be that trigger in some other way, unless you deal with what it is. I'm scoping about this has made me feel better. It always does. It always does. It always helps to do the scopes on the topics that I'm dealing with, right? And I always attract just the right people into the room. That's the beauty of this. Even with my bedhead, which is showing itself right here. Okay, that's a distraction. All right, anyway, so that's my invitation to you, all 11 of you. I don't know what happened to the room today. Really odd. Hey, today's my dad's birthday, by the way. Let's all wish John Doyle a very happy birthday. What would Lynn Rose's advice be? I think it would be a lot like mine. That it's a choice, and because she's all about reframing, right? How could you take this and da da da? But we're all susceptible to being triggered, even the amazing Lynn Rose, by things that aren't necessarily about the person or situation doing the triggering. But it is so easy to point at that and go, well, there's the reason. If that would just stop. If you would just stop being this way, then I could be happy. So, I mean, if you just say that out loud, then you realize, if you're at all conscious, you'll understand that that's not true. That's not how it works. So, well, you guys have invited followers, and that's super nice. I am going to end this, though, because I think I've made my point. It's an invitation, again, for you to notice when you point outwards and blame. When you put your upset... I'm going to have to save all this for him. How often my glasses are falling down. absolve yourself from the responsibility of your reaction because it's so clear that it's somebody else or some other thing that's doing it. Obviously, I mean, look, I was just sitting here minding my own business, and then this person came in and talked to me this way, and now my day is shot because they don't have their act together. Why can't they be more conscious? Why can't they, not be that way? So again, when you say it out loud like that, you realize, again, if you're a conscious person, that something is wrong with that picture. And that we really need to be in here. We need to figure out what's going on in here to get triggered in the first place, to feel the victim, at somebody else's mercy, as if we don't have control over our own well-being, which we do. Thank you, Klein like me. Hold on. I want to stop saying Klein like me and instead say Denise. Thank you, Denise. You're obviously unconscious. Why? Because the thought is, because it makes sense to blame somebody else, or it just seems natural to go. But see what they're doing. You're conscious, Lisa. Come on, you're kidding, right? Last 3 days have been intense. Yeah, my last 3 days have been intense too. Friend got yelled at, and he said, "I must have thought I needed to be yelled at." Thank you, like your scope. Okay, bye, Magic Me. Hold on a second. Natalie. I should be writing this down. Okay, everybody. So look, take this, and as you go through your day, look at how many times, and really notice and take ownership. And what would be really funny is, as you do this, see how many times you go, well, but this is an exception. Clearly, this is their fault. Now, I understand what Bob was talking about, but obviously, this doesn't apply. Let's see how many times that comes up for you. And write that down. Take a look at it later. Oh, conscious one, you have joined as I am ending. But it is nice to have you here, and you're all welcome to watch the replay. Don't forget, tomorrow night with Carl Harvey, BobDoyleLikesThis.com/Carl with a C, to join us for a Law of Attraction Master Training. And it'll be in depth, I promise, because he digs. And we'll get some good usable information. And I hope you enjoy it. So BobDoyleLikesThis.com/Carl. All right, I will keep going, Lisa Long. You know it. All right, love you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday. And we will talk again, well, hopefully tomorrow night, if you join us, join me and Carl. If not, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time for another, Law of Attraction Scope with Bob Doyle. I'm going to drink, see if that helps. Okay. Let us know how that works, Troy. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.